There are several important state tech bills headed to Governor Newsom's desk this month, and these include bills aimed at protecting children's data, thwarting future AI catastrophes, and bringing transparency to autonomous vehicles, autonomous vehicle testing, among others as well. Joining us now for more insight is Justin Kloczko from Consumer Watchdog. Justin, thank you for joining us this morning.
Hi, Andre. Good to see you again.
All right, so let's start with SB 1047. That's by State Senator Scott Wiener. Companies who build really expensive, really big AI models must test them for safety to make sure they don't become dangerous. Tell us what you know about this bill.
Yeah, this is the one to watch. It's aimed at basically making companies test their AI models for safety, and not AI models that exist today, but ones in the future, ones that we can't even imagine right now. So we want to make sure that they don't cause catastrophes, mass casualties, or economic crises. And so these are AI models that we don't even have the computing power today to build just yet. Yeah. But this legislation would be the first of its kind.
Wow, this is interesting. Do we know what kind of dangers possibly could lurk that this would cover?
Yeah, so, basically, financial crises could be one of them, markets being manipulated, to basically AI becoming, super intelligent and kind of, creating, dangerous environments. But it's really aimed at looking at the future and ensuring protections for tech that hasn't been invented yet. But the possibilities are pretty endless.
So the number of Democrats who have opposed the bill hail from districts whose campaigns are flush with tech money here. Consumer Watchdog pointed that out and found out many of these companies also have Newsom's air as well. What's your concern with that?
The concern is that the playing field isn't really level. These companies like Google, Meta, OpenAI, some of these tech funders, they have a lot of power and money, and that's privilege. That's privilege, you or I don't normally have. If you're at home. And so they don't like this bill. They think it's dangerous to innovation, and they see it as a liability issue. But really, the way it should be looked at is an accountability issue, and that's what the people need. They need, accountability, and that's all we're asking for.
All right, so let's move on to this. AB 3048, which would make browsers offer a global data privacy control. It's a simple bill that sailed to the finish line, you say, without any major changes. Tell us a little bit about that and about this bill and any backlash it faces, possibly.
This is one I think everyone could get behind, and we spend a lot of time online, hours and hours a day in front of a screen, and that creates a lot of data, and that data can be used to discriminate against us, in different ways. But what this does is it will force the big browsers like Chrome or Safari to signal to businesses that you visit online that they need to stop sharing your personal data. And they can also delete it if you direct them to. So that this bill would instill this so-called global privacy preference signal that we have these rights right now, but they're just not easy to access. If you wanted to opt out, it just takes a long time.
Yes.
This makes it easy.
So it makes it easy. So you'll have, let's say, for instance, as an example, just be a button that, when you go to that website, button, do not share my information to this website.
Yeah, it'd be like a one-click thing instead of like losing your mind over a lot of websites.
All right, and if passed, California would become the first state in the country to make all browsers doing business in the state, do this as well. All right, let's move on to this. Similar, AB 1949, Buffy Wicks here, aimed at protecting kids' data. That is moving forward now, so that's kind of related to the last bill we talked about. Tell us a bit about this one.
Yeah, this one just makes, laws around kids' data stronger, and it extends the age where companies have to know what age you are before they can collect this data and use it. And so, I think this is something everyone can get behind, and there isn't that much opposition to it. Governor Newsom should definitely sign it.
But it says here, with the reinstated knowledge when this bill was going through the process here, that largely immunizes businesses from actually being held liable for any misconduct. Is that a hole in this, though?
It is a little bit of a loophole because this was originally part of the bill, and without it, businesses can basically plead the fifth and not know who you are when they collect this data. So it has a little bit less teeth now. But there is good things about it, that it extends, the age limit for protections.
At least it starts the process here. Assemblymember Matt Haney sponsored AB 3061. It would mandate that the DMV report collision data for permits of autonomous vehicles. Your organization has been calling for this. Tell us why.
Yeah, this is super important. As you've seen in the news, that AVs like Cruise and Waymo have been blocking traffic. They've been crashing. They've been a nuisance. But you wouldn't know that if you asked the DMV. And this is a simple disinfectant. This bill is just asking for the DMV to make public when AVs go from a testing phase to a deployment phase. And so this would just bring up the guidelines stronger to more of a federal level and bring more transparency.
So what you're saying here is, just like people when they drive cars, they have to report to the DMV. The tech companies will have to do the same thing. Justin Kloczko from Consumer Watchdog, thank you so much for joining us. We'll look and see what the governor does with these bills that are on his desk right now and whether he signs them or vetoes them. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Andre.
All right.